Kimball Beauty, offering a complete line of hair care products, is a proud sponsor of Just Seen It. Great hair equals great confidence. Learn more at KimballBeauty.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com. Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac, and William Burroughs are brought together by Lucien Carr.
Alan. Willie.
The Burroughs family is richer than God.
Oh, he looks like a criminal.
But with Lucien's murder, the three poets form a close bond.
To literacy.
Together, they start the foundation of the Beat Generation in Kill Your Darlings.
Hi, I'm Liz.
I'm Zorianna.
And I'm Sean. Next up is Kill Your Darlings, starring Daniel Radcliffe as Allen Ginsberg. We've all just seen it. Liz, why don't you start?
I'm the perfect audience for this movie because I love movies about writers, about unconventional characters, about people who want to change the world, and that's what Kill Your Darlings revolves around.
That is why I did not like this movie. When people do movies about the Beat Generation, there's such an idol worship about these characters that it just comes off as pretentious. And like the filmmakers care so much more about these characters than I do, and I would like to care, but I just don't.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I think that there's a certain, there's a breakdown in taste where if you like these type of writers, yes, you'll probably like this movie. But just taken as a movie, I thought the filmmakers were too enamored with their subject.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. There's an idol worship.
Well, they're really cool.
Well, wait a minute, but why is this story told through the eyes of Allen Ginsberg? This is a story, really, that's about Lucien Carr and David Cameron, and we've got it told through Allen Ginsberg, who, by the way, because the filmmakers love Allen Ginsberg so much, they've stripped him of any rough edges whatsoever. He's the least interesting character on screen, and he's the one that we're telling the story through.
That's not true at all. They actually very specific themes that they explore through Allen Ginsberg, and it's all about the idea of being held back by family, held back by connections. Allen Ginsberg's mother is in an insane asylum, and his relationship with Lucien Carr is also, he's incarcerated. And
these are all external. They're all external.
And also, it's all a little too much. It's like we have two movies here. We have Ginsberg and his life with his mother and the mental illness, and then we have Lucien Carr and his love story. And they should have just picked one, because this film was like a love story, a college-age movie, a murder mystery, a first love. It was just so much here that we just kind of lost everything.
I think the plots were connected, so it worked for me. But also, I think putting it in a category is not what you should be doing with this film. I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can market it, but this is a film about a group of people who are idealistic and trying to make a difference.
What is this nonsense?
Henry Miller.
Get down immediately. That book is restricted.
Which is why I committed it to memory.
Security?
What the hell is he doing? Alert the press! Tell them Lucien Carr is innocent!
This whole concept that we're going to compare form and structure and writing to fascism in Europe,
What's wrong with
we're going
that?
to rebel against it.
It's art.
That really exists on some sort of pretentious intellectual level that I want no part of.
Exactly. There
whatsoever.
was so much pretension going on in this film.
Well, when you look at the form of the film, I mean, maybe it's not your taste, but if you look at the form of the film, the writing I thought was very strong, very clear. I thought the dialogue was wonderful. And what I liked most is that you didn't feel the act breaks of this film. When we were into the second act, I didn't know we were in the second act. I was just following the story as a through line.
But there were so many weird filmmaking choices, like running footage backwards, including the audio and the music, some of it being period and some of it being
modern,
contemporary. And I just, I felt like the filmmaker was trying to find his voice, just like these characters were trying to find their voice.
The filmmakers gravitated toward this particular event. It brought together Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg and William S. Burroughs. But the problem is the events on screen aren't necessarily the most interesting elements of these people's lives. We have text at the end of the movie that tells us what happened to the characters after the film ended. And it's more interesting than any of the events that took place on screen.
Well, it wasn't streamlined, but I still found it an enjoyable experience. I think part of that is the performances. I thought Daniel Radcliffe was wonderful. I thought he acted vulnerable. I was with him the whole way. I felt for him. I felt for his struggle, and he seemed genuine in his conflict.
I have to agree with you that the acting really was phenomenal. I think everyone was really engaging. Everyone really delved into the characters. I thought Dane Dehaan as Lucien Carr was amazing. Career-making performance for sure.
So I really liked the Jack Kerouac character in this movie, played by Jack Huston. I thought every time he came on screen, it brought a lot of energy to the piece, especially with his relationship with his girlfriend, Edie Parker, played by Elizabeth Olsen, who's becoming extremely reliable as an actress. I wish the entire movie had been about that, to be honest.
That's the thing. There's so many things in this film that the entire movie could have been about. Could have been about Ginsberg and his mentally ill mother. Or it could have just been about the murder. And the filmmakers just sort of crammed too much in that we don't really get anything at all.
I just think when it comes down to it, it's whether or not you're on board with the Beat Generation type of writing.
Although the acting was terrific, I thought the filmmaker tried to cram too much in, resulting in a missed opportunity of what could have been a really good murder mystery. So for me, stream it.
Kill Your Darlings should have killed some of its own. It renders a very dull Ginsberg character, and the movie is uninspired and lifeless. Skip it.
Kill Your Darlings made me feel like an idealistic 16-year-old again, and I had a great time. See it.
Well, our votes add up to 1.5 tickets, so that is a stream it for Kill Your Darlings. Kill, kill, kill!
Cheers. Here's to Liz's inner 16-year-old.
Radcliffe's doing a damn fine job getting away from Harry Potter.
'Cause of the gay sex.
Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant, streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at warnerarchiveinstant.com. Kimball Beauty, offering a complete line of hair care products, is a proud sponsor of Just Seen It. Great hair equals great confidence. Learn more at KimballBeauty.com.